Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy, the Profound Trucker, and just coming to y'all today on my last day at home time at the crib right now. As you can see, I'm chilling on the back porch. You know what I'm saying? We down here in Nashville, Tennessee. But for the most part, man, one thing I've came to realize, about this OTR game, being a truck driver, is that you got to put the sacrifice. It's a big sacrifice being out here. It's a big sacrifice being away from family, being away from your wife, your kids. It's a sacrifice. But with this game, with this OTR game, man, it's up to you because the money's out here. The money's out here to be made, and you got to get to it. You got to get to it, man. Straight up, like the money's here. As long as you got a good relationship with your DM, good relationship with your shippers and receivers and consignees and all of that. Like you can make good money out here, but you gotta sacrifice. And I think a lot of drivers, we get to this point where we start to become comfortable and stagnant in our development as a trucker. Like and like they say, it's growing pains or whatever, but for the most part, it's just getting out here and grinding, man. Getting out here, get to it, get on the road, and make some good money. The money's out here. People can say what they want, whether you a company driver, you a lease driver, whatever, man. The money's out here to be made, but you gotta understand that it's a sacrifice that come along with it. And if you not willing to weather the storm to make it do what it do and stack up your bread, then it's like, man, what are you doing it for? And I mean, I'm gonna give you a little history on myself. I mean, I got a college degree, went to school for business management, and I worked in corporate America for about 5, 6 years. And during that time frame of me working in corporate America, man, I seen those $1,300 checks every 2 weeks or whatever, and you get to a point where you become stagnant, you become comfortable, and when you become stagnant and comfortable, you lose your edge. You lose your edge, man. You stop growing at that point because it's just like, man, I'm making this just enough to pay the bills, but it's more out here. And when I decided to go to Prime and get my CDL and get out here on the road, like it opened up my whole world towards this whole game because it's like, yo, the money's out here. You just gotta run. And I'm just telling this to anybody that's going through the same thing that I'm going through. I got a wife and kid at home, so of course it's very hard sometimes to leave home. That's the hardest part. But at the end of the day, you gotta understand that you sacrificing, you being a man or you being a woman to provide for your family, to provide a solid future, to make sure that everybody good, make sure that you good. If you in debt, pay your debt off. Use your little money that you making on the road. Use some of that to start chopping down your debt. Like, don't lose focus out here because it's definitely hard not to. Like, when you in that road, when you on that road and you in that truck all alone to yourself for 8 to 11 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? And you on that road, you driving. That's a good time to start formulating your plan. That's a good time to start, you know, putting the pieces where they need to go in the puzzle instead of just thinking about all the negative stuff because I didn't fell into that. I fell into that trap at one point. But that's where it comes into play where you have a solid relationship with your DM to where, hey, your DM like, yo, let's get this money. Let's run. I'ma shoot you the lows. You got a tight relationship with them. Let's run. Let's get this money, man. Like enough all the beef stuff to the side, all the petty thinking, all the negative thinking. Man, put all that stuff to the side, man, and get to it, bro. Like real talk, get to it, dog. Like real talk, I'm gonna tell you what trucking did for me, man. Trucking gave me a freedom of mind, man. Like when I was trapped in that cubicle for 8 hours, 8 to 10, 12 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? I felt trapped. I felt like it wasn't no way out of that shit. Like, but whole time I knew it was a way out. It was a way out here to be free, free in your mind. Cause really, I like how Trucker Brown put it, man. Trucking is 70% mental, and I'm gonna go ahead bump it up and say 85, 80% mental, like because it is. It's a mental job. You gotta watch out for yourself. You gotta watch out for other drivers out here on the road. You gotta account for, you know, traffic. You gotta account for everything, weather, all that type stuff. But the amount of stress that you deal with as a trucker is way less than working a 9 to 5 job. And that's the one thing that I appreciate the most out of being an OTR driver is just, man, you not stuck. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance to think. You get a chance to drive your shift, get paid to travel. Like you gotta look at the small things, man. And it's not just being cooped up in your truck all the time. You get to a place if you got time on the load, go to a movie, go to a vape shop, go to the mall, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like those are things that you gotta do to to make sure that you stay sane as a person. Because sometimes I think companies and dispatchers they'll get to a point where they think you a robot or a machine out here, and all you do is just sit in the truck and just run these loads. But you got a life. A lot of the time when you out here on this road, you got time on that load, so you can plan your trip out. And I take what Trucker Brown say into really into consideration because it's like when you get that load that first day, run as many miles off that load as possible. Run them miles because that second day, which is your run day, you won't have that much to drive off your shift to get to where you need to get to on time. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get there early. So, with all that being said, man, I just tell y'all drivers, man, hey, stay positive, man. Stay positive. Find your motivation in this game and understand that it's a cutthroat industry, but any other industry is cutthroat. Being in the medical field is cutthroat. Being in corporate America is cutthroat. But at the end of the day, what you gonna do? You gonna sit back and keep making excuses, or you gonna get it done? Cause when you got a family at home, man, it get real. It get real when you sit back and you looking at your son and your daughter, and you just like, man, like I gotta provide a future for you that's perfect or damn near to it. Especially if you come from the hood or you come from an area where, you know, you may not have had it as good. You want to provide that future for your kids so they can be prosperous, man. And that's all I'm trying to bring out here, man. It's just positivity, bring perspective to the game, and really understand that, you know what, being an OTR driver is great. Being an OTR driver is awesome. Getting paid to travel all across the country. Who who else is doing that? I sit back and have conversations with my family, like family that ain't never been outside of Chicago, family that ain't never been outside of Mississippi or Tennessee or wherever. Like, and I'm getting to see the country every day. So, with that being said, that's my motivation because I know how it is. I know how I feel to be trapped. So, like, I know how it feel to be trapped, to feel trapped. Not even just physically, but just mentally. And if you ain't got your mind out here, you lost. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, with all that being said, I just want to come to y'all real quick and just share my 2 cents in on, you know, how to make it in this game. How to make it in this OTR game. And I only been driving for about 6 months now. I'll be a year running with Prime, in May. So My goals is to get to that year and get all my school, my CDL, everything else paid for, so I don't have no other outlying debt, and use that money that I'm making out here on the road to stack up, get my own truck, make sure my family good, and keep running, man, keep working. And that's the thing, you can't lose focus out here. You gotta work hard. You know, me and my wife had a conversation the other day. You gotta work hard out here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't started off in no community like this, man. Like, they still developing over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still developing. And it's like you gotta want more out here. You gotta want more for yourself, more for your family, more for your kids, your wife, your husband, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's out here for the taking, and you just gotta get to it. You gonna have your downfalls. You gonna have your bad days. It's gonna come. That's inevitable. But hey, the good days definitely outweigh the bad days, I must say. Being an OTR driver. And this ain't no OTR versus local thing. I don't care about none of that. Because we all out here getting to it. So, again, it's your boy, the Profound Trucker, signing off. I just want to check in with y'all real quick. And just share my thoughts on this whole trucking thing, man. Being an OTR trucker, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, again, when you come home and you're around your family, you start to think like, damn, man, like, I miss this. I miss being around my kids and my wife every day, or around my husband and kids every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? For the females, like, it's tough, but it's a sacrifice. And you got to put that sacrifice in. So you got to figure out what's more important at the end of the day. So again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe out there, drivers, and man, just keep pushing. One.